Hi everyone. The strategy I'll be showing you is one I talk about all the time, and I talk about it a lot because it's been a very successful strategy for us that we use with readers who struggle with fluency, prosody, and even tracking as they're reading. This strategy is called Repeated Oral Assisted Reading, or R.O.A.R. And to prep for this, you'll need a timer, a progress monitoring chart, red and blue pens, and some reading passages. Now, I use the Dibble's progress monitoring materials for the passages, but you can use any material that you want. Anything's acceptable as long as it's reading material that's at the student's instructional level. And we want to use materials that are at their level to increase their reading accuracy and fluency. So the session will begin with a 1-minute cold read. And as the student reads, the teacher will record errors and omissions on a progress monitoring sheet. And the monitoring sheet is just a copy of what the student is reading. So here I'll give you a taste of what that cold read would look like.
All right, we're going to do a cold read. Jack?
So Jack is reading. You can't hear Jack. You can hear another student on the other side of the room who's doing her monitoring. But as Jack is reading, I'm marking down any errors, omissions. He may even be adding words, and I'll mark those too. Those aren't as important. They don't count against the student's words per minute. All right, so the time is up, and I marked, when the timer went off, I marked where the last word he was. And at this point, I can take the data and mark it on the graph right away, where you take the number of words they read, subtract all of the errors, and you get the word per minute count. So I can do that right now, or I can wait until the end of the session. I chose to wait till the end of the session because it was the end of the day, and Jack had to get out to us to make sure he made it to his bus. So now, for the next 10 minutes, Jack and I will practice reading together. This 10-minute session has the teacher reading first, and the teacher will read a sentence, and they will model fluency, prosody, and they'll even model how to track as you're reading with your finger. Then next, the student and the teacher will reread the sentence, just one sentence at a time, together. And hopefully, at this second reading, the student has heard the proper pacing for reading, and they'll read together with you and mimic your tone of voice, the speed you're reading at, and then actually follow along with you with their finger. Finally, after you've read together, then it's the student's turn to reread the sentence alone, again trying to mimic the teacher. And after we've practiced for about 10 minutes, we'll stop and do a cold read. But as we go along here, we'll read a paragraph, and then once the paragraph is done, the student will reread the entire paragraph alone before you move on to the next paragraph. So I'll show you what it looks like to actually do the repeated assisted reading.
You warm in that jacket? Yeah? I'll read, then we'll read together and make it, okay? I belong to a big family. I belong to a big family. My 3 brothers, 2 sisters, and grandma all live in our house. My 3 brothers, 2 sisters, and grandma all live in our house. That makes 9 people in our family. That makes 9 people in our family. You can bet it gets pretty busy sometimes. You can bet it gets pretty busy sometimes.
And here's where Jack is rereading the paragraph by himself. And now this will continue for the entire 10 minutes. And at the end of the 10 minutes, stop, the timer will go off and you'll stop. And then Jack will do a cold read. And I'm going to see if I can find the cold read. I think it's right here. Or a hot read. You'll see he corrects me here.
Okay, ready? Begin.
You'll notice I changed pens, so now I'm using a red pen to mark the second reading. There. Now when he got done, I marked, oops, start over. I marked down where he finished, and this particular sitting he did a cold read of 79 minutes, and then afterwards his hot read time went up to 107 minutes, or words per minute. So I hope you get a chance to try R.O.A.R with your students. I really think it has so many benefits for our students, like word recognition, automaticity, and fluency. Thanks for listening.